Hey everyone, hey successful women. I know usually at the beginning I have like a different kind of intro video and it just didn't feel like coming on today. So I used the outro video as the intro video because we just do what we need to do when we're live, right? So I hope you guys are doing okay. Hi to all the VIPs. I know we have some new VIPs. Hi to all the YouTube viewers as well. Say hey in the comments. Let us know hashtag replay if you're watching the replay later. Otherwise, we're going to know that you're here. But we want to know if you stop by later on as well. So how's everyone doing? I hope you're having a great start to your week. It's Wednesday. We're getting into summer now. I know with kids getting out of school, it can kind of get kind of hectic. So how are you doing? How you holding up? How are you controlling it? How are you controlling all those babies that are starting to go nuts? My kids are like not on any kind of schedule. They're like wild animals right now. So we're actually currently, I know I have a different background today. We're currently at our seasonal campsite in Plymouth, Massachusetts. My husband has been camping here like basically his whole life. In tent camping. They always did tent camping. I don't do tent camping. I do glamping. So we have like a really big camper. But his family he has a lot of family members here that have a lot of seasonal campsites as well. So it's kind of like a big family reunion here every summer. So we spend most of our summer here, and the kids have cousins and they're just running around, like I said, like wild animals. So my mother-in-law has them right now. I'm like, can you just take them for like a half an hour so I could do my live training? So it's like super family time here. The kids have a blast and it keeps them outside and off of their devices, which is a plus, right? Because we got to get them off those devices. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. So let us know what you're doing this summer. What do you got going on right now? Drop it in the comments. Let us know what you're up to this summer. Okay. So today we have our guest trainer. We have Terri Alford, and she is a wealth strategist, and she is bringing us her training $1 Million Baby Strategy. So let me bring her on.
Hello.
Hey, Terri. Thanks so much for being here. And I will give you the floor, but thanks so much for hanging out with us today and sharing some value with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. Ladies, I thank you for watching me either live or watching the replay. And I want to let you ladies know that I am incredibly passionate about making sure that our next generation has wealth and have it more abundantly than we had when we enter into adulthood. So again, my name is Terri Alford. I am the Women's Wealth Strategist. If you are a mother, a grandmother, a mother figure, please put a me in the comment section or in the chat so I can know who I am speaking to. And again, I thank you so much for being here. I'm going to be respectful of the time and jump right into our presentation. So I am going to share my screen, and I'm also going to ask that you all be engaging with me. Please engage with me. Okay, interact with me. I definitely have an education background. I was formerly a STEM educator as well as a principal, and I love for you to interact with me. So don't be shy. Put your questions in the comment section, and I will make sure that if I don't answer them during our time here live together, I'll go back and respond. So let's get started. Let me go ahead and share my screen here and let's check it out. Yes, we are good to go. We are good to go. So have any of you ever heard of the $1 Million Baby Strategy? Have anybody ever heard of the $1 Million Baby Strategy? Put a yes in the comment section if it's a yes, put a no if no. What I have noticed is as I continue to go through my timeline, it seems like I see more babies than anything. More babies being born, more babies turning one, more people uncovering that they are expecting. So it is a really incredible time for us to take a look at what we can do to help these babies be able to live a life of luxury and have a multi-million dollar legacy. Now, if you do have children, but they are not infants or toddlers, it is okay. The information that I'm going to share with you on today can be applied to your teen, your preteen, and your young adult children as well. As a matter of fact, if you want to be $1 million baby, you can decide to be $1 million baby too, because I made myself $1 million baby. And so what I want to do is start with showing you what $1 million baby plan can look like. Now, there are multiple ways to construct these plans based on the client's needs. And so I have what I call an A+ client. She is one of my favorite clients. I know you're not supposed to have favorite clients, but she just is, because I have been able to help her with her financial needs, with her retirement planning. Unfortunately, she went through a divorce. I helped her with her assets there. I helped her daughter be able to get proper protection for herself in the form of life insurance. And then when her grandchild was born, she reached out to me and said, Terri, I need my baby, my grandbaby, to be taken care of with one of those $1 million baby plans. So I'm going to show you a snippet of the illustration that I created for her. Now, with the mother and the grandmother, they both are paying $250 per month into this plan. The reason that they decided to go with this plan is because this plan gives the child flexibility. It's a great plan that could be used for college, but it's also a great plan that could be used for the baby's first home or capital for the baby's first business. Or it could even be used unfortunately, if the baby is diagnosed with some type of illness in their lifetime, this money can be used as a safety net to take care of the medical expenses and take care of all of the household needs if the baby has this plan in place before he or she becomes ill. So I love to show this as an alternative to the 529 plan as well for a few reasons. The 529 is not a bad plan. However, the money must be used for school. And if your children are looking to go to college and get financial aid, the 529 plan can count against how much they're able to be approved for. However, this $1 million baby plan does not count. And I will show you how and why in just a moment. So ladies, are you ready? Okay, thank you for saying amazing, Alexa. Thank you very much. All right, so are you ready to see what I did for my baby, my $1 million baby client? I actually had an opportunity to spend some time with her a few weeks ago. She's 1 now, but when we did this plan for her, she was only a few months old. So let me show you what I did for this family and for this baby. So I hope that you can see it here, but I'll tell you this. Again, we started off with this plan with the idea that the baby will have money for school if she decides to go to college. And so the mother and the grandmother is putting in $500 per month into this plan. And what you can see is that $6,000 a year. Now, $6,000 a year is going to give her the opportunity to withdraw up to $53,000 a year for school without having to pay taxes on that money. Now, the money that is taken out of this plan is taken out in the form of a loan. So the good news is, because it's taken out in the form of a loan, it is not reported as income. So that's a plus. Even though it's taken out as a loan, it is not a loan in which she has to be able to qualify based on her credit. What we do know is it's important for our children to establish credit early on. And if they do not have great credit history, it may be hard for them to be able to get some of the funding that they may need for their first business, let's say. So instead of making them get credit cards or having to do anything that's going to affect their credit, the children are able to pull this money from their $1 million baby plan. Now, I call this the $1 million baby plan because this baby is able to be a millionaire in multiple ways. The way that you become a millionaire is you have $1 million in assets. The way that you have $1 million as your net worth is to be able to have $1 million when we take a look at all of your assets minus your liability. So your liabilities. So wouldn't it be great for your children to be able to start their adulthood life having assets right off the bat, having access to cash as soon as they reach adulthood? With this example, this child starts off with a face amount or a death benefit of over $1 million. Also, over $1 million in accelerated living benefits. Now, how is this plan structured? What is this? Where do these numbers come from? What you're looking at right now is a snippet, just a piece of an illustration from what is called an index universal life policy. It is a life insurance policy. Some people refer to it as investment grade life insurance. And what I say, this is like your Lamborghini Maserati version of life insurance and accelerated living benefits because you can do so much with it. Now, we do know that it does not cost $500 in order for a new baby to be approved for life insurance. But the strategy here is to overfund the account and to put more money in the life insurance policy than what the policy costs. The insurance company takes the additional funds, they invest it into the market, and they pay the policy back in the form of cash value. That cash value can be taken out in the form of a loan. The reason I say a loan is because it's money that may be paid back or it may not be paid back. Now, here's the thing. If you take a look at the illustration here, you will see that this child is able to take out $53,067 a year for 4 consecutive years from ages 18 to 21. That is a total of $212,000 that she has in place for her to take out for school, first home, a cash car, a really nice cash car if she wants. And the beautiful part about this is that she has options. She has options. She's not entering into adulthood having to get credit cards to go into student loan debt. She is able to be her own bank with this policy. Now, another incredible thing is if you continue to look at how the money grows in the account, we're going to look at the non-guaranteed assumption column right on the right side. If this policy performs as it has been performing in the past, what we're looking at here is that at the age of 60, actually, let's back up a little bit. Here at the age of 55, this child, let's say this child continues to pay in the $500 a month or $6,000 a year. And we know 55 years from now, $6,000 a year is not going to be what it is now. But when we look at her 55th year of life, if she decides to walk away, she has something called a surrender value. Her surrender value is over $1 million. It is showing as $1,112,000. What that means is that the insurance company is going to give her over $1 million to cancel her policy. I repeat, cancel her policy. They will give her $1 million to cancel. Why? Because they know that if she passes away at age, let's say 57, her beneficiaries will receive $2.6 million. So they have made a deal if they give her all of her surrender value. Now, it gets even greater later because let's say if this child took out the $212,000 for school or whatever she may want to use starting her adult life, and she decided to continue to pay into this account until she's 65. What I have done is I have structured this plan to show her parents that or her mother and grandmother, if she decides to stop paying into this plan at the age of 65 and start receiving income from this plan, she is able to receive over $261,000 a year in tax advantage income for a total of 20 years. That is a total. And in all of that time, that is a total of $5.4 million that this baby has access to in her lifetime. And it's based off of a premium of only $500 a month. Incredible, right? Now, what you may say, well, Terri, what happens at the age of 65? What if she doesn't want to wait to receive $261,000 a year? Well, at the age of 65, if she decides to cancel, at that moment, her surrender value is 2.4 over $2.4 million. That's what she will receive. If she passes away and she does not get the opportunity to receive the $261,000 a year, that is okay. At the age of 65, her beneficiaries will get $3.5 million. I am giving you just one example of how we can structure $1 million baby plan for your children. Again, this is incredibly important to me. This is a passion of mine. I don't have any children. However, when I do have children, I want them all to be $1 million baby, $1 million baby, $1 million baby, because I know for me, there are some things in life that I would not have had to go through had I had one of these plans in place. Now, I love my parents. They did the best that they could, but they couldn't give me one of these plans because they didn't know about it. And so that's why it is my purpose and it is my assignment to make sure that as many mothers who are passionate about building generational wealth for their children and their families know that these plans exist. They are not new. They have been in place for many years. And if you want to learn more about them, I encourage you to reach out to me so that I can design a plan for your child or your children, or maybe even yourself if you're like, Terri, I want to be $1 million baby. Now, I can talk about this all day. I can talk about this all day. So I'm going to actually wrap it up because I feel like we're getting close to time. But if you have not noticed yet, I have showed you how to use a life insurance policy while you're living to help your baby be able to fund college or whatever they want or need in their future. Why consider this? Because it's important that you start early. You can start as early as possible, but you also can start as late in your child's life as it may be. So again, if you have a 17-year-old, don't think that this plan will not work. It may be too soon for them to use this plan to get money for school, but they may be able to have money for their first home, or they may be able to put money into this plan and be able to pay off some debt later, or and get out of debt in 7 to 10 years. If you're interested in learning more about that, I'll show you that. Or they may just say, hey, I want to retire early. And so I'm going to use this as one of my supplemental retirement plans so that I can be able to have income from multiple sources when I decide to retire. You are able to have more flexibility with these plans. And again, currently, these funds are not considered in your financial aid calculation. So if your children need financial aid, it's okay. Like, you do not have to report any of this money. The wealthy have been using these types of plans for a long time. I know we have quite a few successful women in this group. And so I want to share with you as well and put this plug here. 80% of the CEOs of the top 5 Fortune 500 companies have their retirement plans tied into some type of life insurance policy in some type of way. As a matter of fact, the banks use life insurance policies to be able to secure their funding. So if it's good enough for the banks and it's good enough for the Fortune 500 CEOs and their families and their children, I hope that you decide that it is also good enough for you. I'm going to, again, just kind of go through this very quickly. I kind of mentioned if the children do become ill, they are able to accelerate funds from this policy, and they're able to accelerate up to $1 million of the death benefit if the death benefit is over $1 million. And so these things here again are incredibly important to me. I always share with my parents it's important for your children to have $1 million baby plan, but it's also important for you to have accelerated living benefits, because as you are building your wealth and you're on your wealth building journey, if you become ill with a critical, chronic, or terminal illness, I do not want you to take away money from all of your assets. Your current plan may include, your current retirement portfolio may include 401ks, 403bs, cryptocurrency, real estate, IRAs. There's a number of things that you may have in place, but if you have the wrong type of emergency, you're going to liquidate all of those funds. I want you to be able to have something in place so that you can leave the things that you are using to build and generate more generational wealth in place and use other people's money, also known as the insurance company's money. So I would like to know, how much would you like to invest into your child's future? I would love the opportunity to earn your business. Of course, I showed you one example, but there are so many ways to structure these plans for your children. So if you have never heard of a plan that can provide for your child's college, first business, first home, and give them income for life, I would love the opportunity to design one for your child. You can go to bit.ly or bit.ly/book with Terri, and there will be a calendar link for you to select college planning or $1 million baby strategy. You can scan the QR code, and that will take you directly to my calendar as well. You can also follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. I am the owner and founder of TNA Financial Group, and I love helping business women create a multi-million-dollar legacy. Let's stay connected. You can follow me on Instagram at TNA Financial Group. You can find me on LinkedIn with my name. You can find me on Facebook. You can send me an email, or again, you could take a look at my calendar. One last thing, you can go to jointerri.com if you would like to just learn more from me. I have a private Facebook group called Business Women Building Wealth, and every week I go live speaking about something to help you on your wealth building journey. And today our topic is, when you roll out of that job, you may want to roll over that 401k. Thank you again for the opportunity, Katie. I'll turn it back over to you.
Hey, okay, you just like totally just schooled me on some serious things, and I'm gonna have to look into. I got 3 kids. and plus my own thing, and my husband's actually going to be retiring in a few years, so I'm just like, there's a lot of things I have to think about. You're getting my wheels turning. Can you put your Facebook group link in the comments, please? Because I definitely want to check that out. But I really appreciate all of that today. That's serious. That's serious business there.
Thank you. That was my goal. I tried to squeeze in as much as I could in 10 minutes, but it is a passion of mine. I have a master's in education, and I just tell people I'm just a highly paid educator at this moment. I love to educate and give you the awakening of the things that you should be thinking about on your wealth building journey.
No, I can tell you're passionate. Your energy is like infectious, and I love it. So thank you so much for coming here today. And yeah, I would just hang out in the comments, and I think there's some questions that need to be answered in there as well. So thank you so much.
Okay, excellent. I'm heading there. Have a great day.
Bye. Ooh, that was really good. I'm so glad that she came on. So I hope I can top all the things that she was just talking about. But what I want to talk to you about today, and this will probably kind of go right along with what Terri was talking about, I want to talk about 3 steps to becoming future focused, okay? Because Terri is definitely talking about the future. So let's start thinking about how we can become more future focused, okay? And let me just explain a little bit of that first. So sometimes I like to do these I know I usually do kind of step-by-step trainings for you, but I also like to do some of these mindset trainings with you as well, because it's super important. Like, mindset is the foundation to being a business owner, right? Like, This is a concept that I actually think is pretty fundamental to building your business and creating a life that you're actually dreaming of. Okay. It's called the future self or becoming future focused. And you may have heard of this concept, but this has really been life changing in how I approach my everyday life. And I want to teach you about this. And it's going to involve a three-step process that I'm going to show you how to use in your life every day. All right. And it's just an amazing way to start looking at your life and just start moving forward and getting closer to creating all the things that you desire in both your life and in your business. Okay. So it's called the future self and creating future focus. And you probably know as humans, and I've talked about this before, we have a primal brain, which is like back here, right? It's also, it's like also called the caveman brain or the lizard brain. Some people call it different things, right? And then we have a prefrontal cortex. Okay. So the primal brain or the caveman brain, lizard brain, it has three major goals. It wants to avoid pain, it wants to seek pleasure, and it wants to seek repetition, or basically be lazy and do like what it's always done, right? Its job, right? Its primal job is to keep you alive. That's what the primal brain is there for. And we appreciate the primal brain, right? If we need to like jump out of the way, if we're in harm's way, right? It's great. Thank you, primal brain, right? We want to be alive. But the primal brain can actually kind of get in the way. Okay. And I'm sure most of you know when it comes up, it comes up with all kinds of stories and scenarios in your head that keep you safe and avoid discomfort, right? The discomfort of doing things that are outside of your comfort zone, right? You've never built a business before, or you've never done it in this way before. This is new. Or maybe you're learning a new social media skill, right? And your brain is saying, she's a danger, danger, perceived danger. And it doesn't want you to do it. So it's going to put up all the stops to get you to stop doing that. So that's primal programming. It actually comes from your past and it's just regurgitating the past into the future, right? So if you want to keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten, right? But if you want to do something new and set new goals for yourself, you have to learn to access the prefrontal cortex that we have, right? That we've developed since being cavemen. Okay. We all have these goals, and it could be like friend requesting people or inviting people to your group, talking to people in DMs, posting on social media. And we have to be willing to embrace the discomfort of it and train our caveman brains to the fact that it's not going to kill us, right? And to that emotion, whatever that is for you, if it's like fear or a little bit of embarrassment or awkwardness, whatever that uncomfortable emotion is for you, whether it's sitting down writing content and it's like hard, whatever that is, whatever that emotion is that your brain doesn't want you to feel. Okay, it wants you to feel safe, it wants you to feel pleasure and to avoid pain and do what you've always done. So that really just comes from your past, from when you were a caveman. Yeah, and your past really likes to delegate things down to the subconscious. It likes to push things down there so that it's just on repeat, right? Think about your habits, and we all have habits. Maybe you're an early riser, or maybe you like to go to the gym every day, but there's also the not so helpful habits, right? And that's all programming from our past. And it's just the way that we challenge it that I want to teach you about today, right? To learn to become future focused, which means we create our future from our future. Okay. And I'm going to show you because if we do nothing, then nothing's going to change. All right. We're just going to keep unconsciously, like, keep training our brains to subconsciously feel threatened and to not let us do the things that will push our businesses forward. So, what I want you to do is to start focusing on the future. All right. And I'm going to show you how in 3 steps. So, the first step is to create your future from your future, right? It's to pick a timeline and a goal. And we see our goals in short term, medium term, and long term. Okay. So, a short term would be like by the end of the day, right? What are your goals that you want to reach by the end of the day, right? Well, I'm going to follow everything that's on my calendar. I'm going to use like a DM tracker to follow up on leads. I'm going to write some emails. I'm going to do the work that I said I was going to do that day that I have on my calendar, right? Or my short-term goal could also be by the end of the week, all right? So those would be short-term goals, right? I'm going to make sure I complete my DM tracker by the end of the week. I'm going to make sure my emails are all written for next week, right? I'm going to batch some content, right? I'm going to do the things that I set up in my weekly calendar. So a goal and a timeline for a medium length goal would be like 3 months or 90 days. So maybe your 90-day goal is a member count for your Facebook group, or finishing a certain project, finishing freebies, low ticket offers, and having it launched. Okay, that could be a 90-day goal. And then our long term is sort of like a year out, or like 5 years out, 10 years out, right? Where we're heading. That's what it's all about, where we're headed. Okay. That is what, like, we're about creating that business that we want, that's sustainable. Okay. That's our long term goal, right? That's giving us the life that we desire. That's giving us the impact that we want to create. That's allowing us to express ourselves and create this incredible long term goal. Okay. So then, step number 2, now that we're learning to create our life from the future, we really want to intentionally create our future self. We have a future self, we have a present self, and then we have a past self. All right. If our future self, right, our future self that we're thinking of in those goals is really a present self, all we ever have to think about is our past self. Okay. Think about that. If your future self is really your present self, all we ever have to think about is our past self. All right. So think about that concept. Okay. When we think about our future self, it's a story that we're projecting out into the future. So, what I want you to start doing is to really just be conscious about that. I want you to create what is your future self? What is it? What is she doing? How is she being? What does she wear? How does she show up every day to create the life that is the future self, that your future self is living? Okay, we really want to intentionally create this future self. How is the future self different from your present self? Okay, maybe there's some things that you're doing that you're like, yes, I need to keep doing this. It is getting me to where I want to be. But what are the things that are not working? Right? What are the things that, like, at the end of the day, I'm not really feeling this, right? It's not moving me. It's not moving the needle in my business. It's not going where I want to go. All right. So I want you to start being intentional about who you are wanting to be and who you are becoming. Okay. So we need to have a clear guideline for who that future self is, who you want to become. Okay. And that can evolve over time, but you have to start with something. Okay. So then, number 3 is to visualize being your future self right now. Okay. This is really a key component of the visualization of it. Okay. The I am. All right. And what I would suggest is to take like 5 minutes a day or even 3 minutes a day and really practice visualizing being that person now. Okay. And some people like to meditate and sit still on it. And some people want to do it when they're walking or whatever. I know school's over, but some people do it like in the school pickup line. They're sitting in their car and they're just visualizing. Whatever practice works for you, think about what a successful you does. Like, who are they being? What are they feeling? Right? And what are they doing differently? Okay. Then what you do is you start to practice doing that. How would they show up differently? Maybe somebody who maybe has the 20K a month goal, right? If that's what your goal is, who is it that's making $20,000 a month? What are they doing differently? What does my future self do differently? And start doing something now. How are they showing up? How are they acting? Like, if they make a mistake or they don't do something perfectly, do they beat themselves up about it? Right? Or do they just keep going and don't make it mean anything about them? How is that future self different? And who is it that you want to be when you are there? And is it easy? Is it easy to just have $20,000 months? Do you have systems in place to get you there? Right? Is it easy to have signed clients? And what does that feel like? Does it feel exciting? Okay. So I want you to really start to play with this visualization of your future self, because what happens is the brain, when you focus on something and when you really create an intention to believe that, the brain will want to close the gap of where you are now and where you want to be. Okay. The brain is an incredible organ and it can actually do this. This is the magical thing about believing and acting from possibility rather than acting from the present or from the past. Because if you, let's just say that you are somebody who was not always good with following through with a task, right? Or not good with scheduling everything on your calendar, but when the time came, like maybe like you're not good at keeping up with laundry. Let's keep it simple. Laundry had to be done, right? But like then there's big piles of laundry or something like that. Nobody has clean clothes or whatever, right? Like it could be something simple like that, right? But you know, there could be distractions, right? It could be something like that. Like it could not do, maybe it's not just putting things on your calendar, but maybe you're very distracted. Maybe social media, maybe you're scrolling too much on social media and it's distracting you from running your business. Okay. It could be like anything like that, something from your past that you've created a habit in that you now want to change. Okay. Because your brain will want to tell you that that's all you're good at. That's all you're ever going to do. You get distracted. You're not good at scheduling, right? And that's why sometimes when we have a new goal or something that is stretching us beyond our current or our present self, and we kind of share that with our friends and family, people that know us, who, they know that we can kind of tend to be a certain way, kind of unorganized, unscheduled, always late, something like that, right? They can kind of tend to say, well, you're not going to be able to create that. You're not going to be able to change. Okay. And it's not because they're mean, but they want to protect us, right? They kind of want to put our past onto where we're going, and they don't mean any harm by it usually. But if we always lived from our life from not doing something because we've never done it before or because you think you can't, like I can't ride a bike, right? But you can never learn to ride a bike until you actually ride a bike, right? So that's why we need to learn to live from possibility, looking onto our future to create what we want, not looking at the current thing. This is why creating and setting an intention on a regular basis, creating a visualization, creating a new habit, because that caveman brain back here will very quickly always want to go back to the way that it's always been, right? It'll want us to look behind us instead of looking in front of us. So that's why getting into the visualization and starting to act on the visualization is so important, even if you visualize one new habit at a time. Okay. I don't know if you've ever heard of the author and the incredible speaker, Joe Dispenza, but he talks about future focus as being we are creating memories. We are creating memories, creating future memories, if that makes sense. All right. We're creating future memories. We're implanting them inside us as memories, but they just haven't happened yet. And the reason we do this is because it's actually how we move the needle towards what we want. We have the belief first, right? Not the evidence first. And when we believe the belief first, then we create the evidence. That's how we're able to generate what we want most. So pick your goal, pick your time frame. Like I said, use the short term, medium term, and long term, right? You can do a goal for each one, right? I want you to create your future self intentionally and then start to practice it now. You can practice it in terms of if you're looking at your calendar, because when we create a calendar, we look forward to what we most want to do. We're looking at something from our higher self. We're trying to raise the bar. Okay, this is what I want to do this week. This is what I want to do this month. This is what I want to do this year. Okay. When you have your calendar like open in front of you, I like to have a paper calendar. I have a digital one too, but I still use a paper calendar because I like to see it sitting there with things that I need to do. Right. When you have your calendar up in front of you and like 9 a.m. shows up and you're like, oh, I didn't do my DM tracker. Right. Or I didn't do my friend request. Or I didn't talk to anybody in the DMs. Like I didn't follow up with those people that had questions for me. Right. Or I haven't batched my content yet, or I haven't planned out my next freebie, right? I'm going to go plan out my freebie. I'm going to plan out my low ticket offer. And the primal brain's going to go, people are going to think you're bugging them, or, you're emailing people too much, right? Or, whatever story your primal brain is going to tell you. And then you get to decide if that thought is serving me. Is that story I'm holding about that task, is that going to move me forward? Is that serving me? And likely, if it's a story that's like digging in and trying to get you like that, it's coming from your primal brain. It doesn't mean it's true or it's false. It just means to protect you from potential harm or from stepping outside of the cave, so to speak, right? Into something new. But it's just an emotion. It just means you're going to feel uncomfortable sending a friend request or DMing somebody, or sending an email today, right? Change the story and then decide what my future self would have to say to myself right now. She has so much confidence because she knows what I'm doing works. She's put all of these systems in place, and she knows that she created 20K months or 30K months or whatever your goal is. She knows, and she's excited to respond to DMs to this person who may be a potential client, because she's got such a valuable gift to share with this person, and she knows she can help, right? That's the thing the future self has already achieved and already gotten to do, where I currently want to go. She would show up differently than my present self. Okay. So practicing that intentional future self now. You do that in the present. You do that every day, because the more we can do that, the more our brain will close the gap between where we are now and where it is that we want to go. Practicing, because we know that beliefs are just thoughts that we've repeated so many times that we actually believe they're true. And the more you can anchor into tapping into the future self, the more that is going to be your truth. Thoughts create emotions. Emotions drive our actions, and actions create our results. So what is that future person thinking? Is she thinking this is easy, right? She's thinking, of course I get to email these people. They opted into my email list. Of course I get to hop on a call with this ideal client. She's in that energy of abundance. She's in that energy of having done the thing, in that emotion, creating the drive to do the action, to create the result, rather than going into the past and going, it's not going to work. What if they don't respond? What if they think I'm bothering them? All that doesn't get us to where we want to go. So it really is important to see the difference, to really start to tap into your future self. This is such an important concept, and I would love to hear your ideas of what your thoughts are on your future self and creating your vision from the future. And my free course sharing how to sell your offers even without an audience is soon to be updated, and I will be charging for it shortly. So grab that in the video description now while you still can grab it for free. So check for that link below, and me or my assistant Rochelle can answer any of your questions for you. Thank you again to the lovely Terri for her training, and make sure you check out her links as well. I believe she's putting some additional links in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.